Hey, Treasure and Fan Show pal, Big D back here again with another weekend news announcement. And this is for the 24th of May and the 31st, the last day of May 2022. Those of you new to my channel, I try to do this every week where I talk about what's coming out new on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K. And then once I get out, I'll talk about what's coming out this week, next week, and anything that was majorly announced over the course of the last week or so. And then after that, we kind of get into discussion. Sometimes I just cut off. I don't know, just however I'm feeling for the flavor of the day. So with that being said, let me go ahead and talk about what's coming out this week. So obviously the big title of this week is The Batman. I did get my 4K Steelbook over the weekend. Thank you, Best Buy. Actually got it on Friday. So, but here it is, the 4K Steelbook. I have a funny feeling this is probably going to be a harder one to find. I do know that Walmart has an exclusive out there. I'm not exactly sure what it is, and I'm pretty sure Target does too. But you know me, especially when it comes to DC, I'm always going to grab the Steelbook. So I did get the Steelbook. It's pretty cool. I already opened it, and I redeemed the digital. So I was kind of curious because you do it early, you know. But I will kind of show you the front, and then there's the back. It's pretty cool. There's not really much on the inside. I mean, it just kind of, yeah, you know, it's not really much. But totally stoked to have this. I got to admit, this movie blindsided me. When I first heard that Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman, I was like, oh, come on. And I'm not even talking about the Twilight stuff. It's like, I've seen several movies of his, and I just don't feel like he has the right chops to be Batman, you know? But I was pleasantly surprised. It was a really good movie. I really, really enjoyed it. Even with the 3+ hour runtime, I still really enjoyed the movie. I really got into it. I thought it was really neat. I liked the fact that he was actually interacting with the police. I mean, there's scenes where he's, you know, they're on a crime scene. He's there walking around with them, which you used to see in cartoons and the comics all the time. But in the more current movie iterations, you don't see that anymore. You see him coming back to the crime scene before anybody gets there or coming back after everybody's left. So it was cool to see that aspect of it, that he's actually walking around with all the other cops and going, okay, so what's going on? And they're all kind of like, whoa, you know. But it was really neat to see that. I felt like it was more of a detective movie than it was just a superhero movie, which I really enjoyed because that's what Batman for me is growing up. Batman was the great detective. He could figure out just about anything. Superman was your superhero. Batman was the great detective. So that's why I love both characters. Now, yes, I'm a bit more of a Superman fan. I'm a Batman man, but one of the biggest reasons why I love Batman was because he didn't have superpowers to use his mind. So I always liked that. So this movie very much in that realm of him. Yes, Alfred did quite a bit of work too, but it was very much more of him being a detective, not being some strong guy just going and beating everybody up and saying, I win. So I really like that aspect about it. So I'm curious to see this again. I streamed this movie, so I do want to watch it again on actual 4K because, let's be honest, you can't get true 4K out of a streaming service. I mean, especially in my area where I'm a cable modem and everybody's kind of sharing the actual usage. So sometimes, you know, sometimes I get a little bit better 4K than other times, depending upon how much traffic is on the internet at the time around my area. So this is true 4K. This is the best way to get 4K, is actually off a distance, plugged into a player directly into your TV. So I'm curious to go see this again and see how well it is. So I will let you guys know once I see it. We do have also coming out this week. We have, it's like 4K plenty this week and next week. I mean, it's like 4K, 4K. Here's a 4K. You get a 4K, I get a 4K. We all get 4Ks. So, what we do have, we have Candyman coming out in 4K for the first time. And that's from Scream Factory. We also have from Scream Factory Life Force coming out in 4K for the first time. And I'm a big fan of Life Force. I really like it. Yeah, I know Patrick Stewart's in it, so obviously, duh, it's got a Star Trek connection. But I've been a big fan of the movie. I liked that movie before I knew Patrick Stewart really was, other than from Excalibur and Dune. So I really like the movie. I don't know if I'm going to get the 4K on it, though, but I really do like Life Force. It's a really good sci-fi flick. Then we also have being released Wild Things Limited Edition, and I believe in this one, this is Arrow Video. They're releasing, it's going to be in 4K for the first time, but they're releasing like a standard version, a 4K, like a standard Blu-ray edition, a 4K edition, and then some sort of like Steelbook edition of it. So there's several different versions of this movie coming out tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that. The movie X comes out tomorrow, which I just recently learned about. It sounds really interesting, about a crew going out to film an adult movie at some old farmhouse, but there's like a killer there or something. So it actually sounds really interesting. We also have Malignant coming out in 4K for the first time, which I said this last week. I went back and looked at it again. I don't think that the Blu-ray actually looks pretty good on that movie. Excuse me. So I'm not sure how much more the 4K is going to look on, how much better 4K is going to look. We do have Patriot games coming out for the first time on 4K. Now remember, this is a Paramount title, so there's not going to be no Blu-ray. It's just going to be the 4K disc and a digital copy. RoboCop the series is coming out tomorrow. Wow, I actually really want to see that. I'm hoping at some point it goes. I think it's like 40-50 bucks. And I just don't want to pay that much right now. But I'm hoping that it goes down in price enough where I can get it, because I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember any of the episodes. I remember them talking about it, so I kind of want to see it. We do have Criterion is releasing Mississippi Masala tomorrow. We do have Studio 666 coming out tomorrow, which is, I think it's a comedy with I can't remember what band it is, and some, mayhem goes on, but it sounds very interesting. We do have Teen Titans Go and the DC Superheroes Girls in Mayhem in the Multiverse. I'm a big fan of the Teen Titans. My wife loves the DC Superhero Girls, so that's kind of a no-brainer. Sorry for the honk. We do have the Sinner Complete Series coming out on Blu-ray tomorrow. We have Doom Patrol Season 3 coming out on Blu-ray and DVD tomorrow. We also have Titans Season 3 coming out tomorrow. And then the last one is the Ray Donovan TV, the movie, coming out tomorrow on Blu-ray and DVD as well. And that is it for this week. Those of you Steelbook fanatics like I am, again, there's only 2 coming out tomorrow, and that would be Wild Things, which I have a funny feeling you're going to have to order that one. I don't think you're going to be able to walk into Best Buy. I think you'll be able to walk into Best Buy tomorrow and find the 4K version of it. I don't think you'll be able to find a Steelbook. Could be wrong. And then the Batman, which that one I would highly recommend you doing one of those like store pickup things and doing it earlier rather than later, because I've noticed with a lot of the not so much niche market steelbooks, but the bigger steelbooks like something like this will go quickly. Will go really, really quickly. All right, let's talk about next week. Next week, the 31st, the last day of this month, we do have more 4Ks. So Kino Lorber is releasing a couple of Clint Eastwood movies, A Few Dollars More and A Fistful of Dollars, both coming out in 4K. Criterion is releasing Double Indemnity on 4K, which if you've never seen it, it is a great movie. It's a movie you've probably never seen. Gosh, maybe about 10 years ago, I decided to take a class at Cabrillo College, which is just down the street. Not really down the street, but it's in the next town over from where I live. It's a great junior college, and they were offering a class on film noir. I thought that'd be kind of interesting to take. I had a little bit of time on my hands, so I figured to take it. And we watched that movie in that class, and it's a really, really good movie. It's become one of my favorites. I really, really enjoy the movie. If you ever get a chance and you want to see a good film noir whodunit type movie, Double Indemnity is a great movie, because it's not like a whodunit, but it's kind of like almost in the guise of like throw them up in the train. This couple gets together to conspire to kill this lady's husband, and this insurance agent's coming around, keeps picking at things, trying to figure out what's going on, what happened. It's a really, really good movie. And then we do have next week Untouchables coming out in the 4K for the first time. That's the Kevin Costner, Sean Connery classic. There will be a Best Buy exclusive steelbook on that one, so be looking for that. Shout Factory next week is releasing, let's see here, more 4Ks. We got Happy Death Day 1 and 2 both coming out in 4K next week. We have 1776, the movie, coming out in 4K next week. We hear that term a lot, don't we? The Boys Season 1 and Season 2 coming out in a 2-pack next week on Blu-ray, which I'm surprised, because usually when it comes to these streaming services, they don't have a tendency to release their stuff a lot. Like Netflix doesn't at all anymore, at least that I can see. They stopped at Stranger Things Season 2 and that was it. HBO does, because it's Warner Brothers stuff, so they have a tendency to do it. But like Amazon, kind of hit or miss. Every once in a while they release one, and Hulu every once in a while. So it's I'm surprised that's coming out. I thought that would be one, like a lot of these Disney shows, like Where's the Mandalorian? See, I mean, Disney doesn't release any of their stuff they stream on their channel anymore. There's no, you don't get the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, the Scarlet Witch show, the Falcon the Winter Soldier, all those great shows that have come out over the course of the last, the Loki show, none of it on Blu-ray. It's kind of like they force you to go to their channels. That's why I'm really surprised that The Boys is actually coming out. And then the last one is we do have Lucifer Season 5 coming out on Blu-ray tomorrow, which is a weird one because that one's Netflix now. But I think up till, was it Season 5 or Season 6, it was still by the CW, I think. So that may be the issue with that. Also, Vinegar Syndrome is releasing several titles next week, all in 4K. So I'm telling you, 4K will plenty. They're releasing Death Wish 2 in 4K. They're releasing Flesh Eater in 4K. Alien Private Eye in 4K. And this is the one I'm actually really excited about because when I was a kid, I loved this movie. Jack Flack is a movie called Cloak and Dagger with Dabney Coleman. I love that movie. I remember it used to be on HBO like every day during the summer of a couple years when I was growing up. I used to watch it all the time. So I am really excited to see that come out in 4K. This is a movie I only have on VHS. I do not even have a DVD copy of it. I thought I did, and I've been going through my collection lately, and I cannot find it. But I found the DVDs. I mean, the VHS. So I don't know, but I'm really excited about that, especially getting a Blu-ray version of it and a 4K. So I'm really excited to see that movie. Again, it's been years, but that's awesome. And then that's it for this week. And next week, let's talk about anything that was announced. We do get they did announce Edge of Tomorrow for 4K for July 5th. Great movie. It's a good that's a good sci-fi flick. Kino Lorber, and this is the one I was completely shocked about. I just really surprised because of kind of the state this country's in right now when it comes to these kind of things. But Kino Lorber is releasing a 4K version of Tropic Thunder, which, don't get me wrong, I love that movie, but there's a certain person in that movie that it does blackface the whole movie. And maybe when this movie was made back, was it late 90s or something like that, early 2000s, it wasn't as bad as the way, at least especially our nation takes it now. So I'm surprised, but hopefully people look at that movie as it's a comedy parody, which it truly is. But I'm surprised that movie, given the state of this country now, I'm kind of surprised that movie's actually coming out. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I actually really enjoyed the movie. I think the movie's absolutely hilarious. I mean, there's so many taboo things in there because they don't just do the blackface thing. They make fun of people with disabilities. They poke fun at a lot of stuff, but they also poke a lot of fun at Hollywood, make a lot of fun of it. So it's got a great cast in there. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. obviously, but you just Danny McBride and just Nick Nolte and some of the other people, the Booty Juice. I mean, it's a funny movie. If you just take it for what it is, it's just a parody. It really is truly hilarious. I think if you sit down with the proper context and have a conversation with people you sit and watch and understand it, I think you can get watched by without, but just taking it for what it is as a comedy. Enough said on that. We do have Rutherford Falls Season 1 coming out on the 14th of June. Oh, by the way, the Tropic Thunders will be out later this year. Kino Lorber doesn't have an exact date for it yet. Kino Lorber is also relieving El Cortez on the 26th of July. And they're also releasing Number 1 with the Bullet. But that one will come out later this year, but that is coming out as well. And then it looks like Lionsgate is releasing Angel Heart in 4K with a steelbook, which will be exclusive to Best Buy. That'll be on the 12th of July. And that is it. That's it for this week, next week, and anything that had been announced. There may have been some other stuff. I saw some floating around, like some, was it like Beach Blanket Bingo and stuff like that? Some of those old 60s, like Annette Funicello movies. I think some of those are going to be coming out to Blu-ray under a Paramount Presents, but I didn't get an official announcement, so it's hard for me to say, oh yeah, it's coming out. Well, I've seen a picture, but no official announcement for it yet. And I'm sure some of the other stuff will probably, was it Top Gun comes out this week? So I'm assuming within the next couple weeks we'll find out a release date for that, since that movie's been done for well over 2 years. We should see, I'm sure that, was it last weekend, Downton Abbey came out. That should be announced pretty quick. It seems like this is getting announced quicker and quicker now as it's coming out, especially with a lot of stuff that was held over for a long time because of COVID. So don't be surprised you don't see some of this stuff coming rolling out right away. I know that last week Bob's Burger, the movie, opened up. My brother-in-law is probably the biggest Bob's Burger fan you would ever want to meet in your entire life. He loves that movie, so but I'm assuming that's going to come out relatively quickly as well, because it just seems like that window for theatrical to at least streaming anyways is getting shorter and shorter and shorter by I mean, Ambulance. They just announced Ambulance. I believe it's already coming up on streaming, and that was just a few weeks ago. So you gotta, it's coming quicker and quicker and quicker now. It's almost the point, like, I would almost imagine, I know that Doctor Strange came out, was it last week or the week before that? I imagine Disney's going to announce that any day for Blu-ray, DVD, 4K Steelbook. I would imagine. It just seems like it's happening that quickly now. So other than that, that is it. That's all I got for now. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, the bell, leave me some comments. Thank you so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my Kino Lorber video that I just put up. Kind of a labor of love on that one because I filmed it and then I trashed it because I had more coming in. I wanted to do one big one, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Please take care. Be safe out there. Always keep hunting because you never know what's going to find. And as always, live long and prosper. Bye.